So welcome to our presentation on recrystallisation. This has been compiled by Dee Dee Harvey, Jessica Everett, Laura Hodgkiss and Francis Licata. So recrystallisation is a technique used for the purification of a solid compound. We will now go through some safety issues.
Before commencing this lab, safety aspects need to be considered. Dangerous chemicals and equipment are being used, which means personal protective gear needs to be worn. This includes a lab coat, safety glasses, gloves, closed-in shoes, and long hair tied back. These items are essential in protection against possible skin irritation, burns, or eye damage if spillages of chemicals were to occur.
The recrystallisation process requires multiple chemicals and equipment. This includes the chemical impure benzoic acid to form the crystals, decolorizing charcoal for filtration, distilled water to be heated, and also ice for cooling down of the formed crystals. Multiple pieces of glassware are required, which are a 250ml beaker, two 250ml conical flasks, a funnel, small and large filter papers, a glass rod and spatula, multiple watch glasses, pasture pipettes with bulbs, a sample tube, boiling chips, a Hirsch funnel, sidearm filter flask, and also accessories for vacuum filtration.
This technique involves heating up water to dissolve the impure benzoic acid. This is done by putting 100ml of water into a 250ml beaker and bringing it to the boil. Then 10ml of deionized or distilled water is placed into a conical flask with 1 gram of benzoic acid and a boiling chip to be heated as well. This is then swirled to assist in dissolving of the benzoic acid. More boiling water from the beaker can be slowly added to the benzoic acid if it is not dissolving effectively.
To the benzoic acid solution, you will then need to add about 1 level teaspoon of decolorizing charcoal. The charcoal is porous and so absorbs the impurities. This is then filtered out with the impurities, thus allowing less impurities at recrystallization.
Filtration demonstration. This is Frank, one of our more senior chem technicians, who will be demonstrating this for you. As you can see, it's folded over in half once, then again, that's it, and another time. That's it, making sure you get the edges nice and folded. That's it. Frank's doing a very good job. Yes, and then you fold over again. Make sure it's pressed down so you get those creases very well defined. That's it. And then it's opened up and you can see where the creases are, and then you start to fold inwards, alternating as you go round the filter paper. It can be a bit tricky, this, but practice makes perfect, so don't be dismayed if first attempt you don't get it. There we go, and that's just perfect. Thanks very much for that, Frank.
Now that we have our filter paper folded and placed into the funnel over the flask, filtration can begin. It is important that the filtration process is completed with the flask on a hot plate, as allowing it to cool can cause recrystallization to occur prematurely. As discussed earlier, recrystallization is a technique used for the purification of a solid compound. This is achieved by the process of us dissolving the compound, then filtering to remove the impurities. This is done by adding the activated charcoal, which absorbs the impurities. The charcoal is then removed by filtration. The cooling of the solution allows for crystallization to occur without impurities. They tend to be excluded from the crystal structure.
Now that the crystals have formed, they need to be separated from the mother solution using vacuum filtration in a Buchner funnel. Once the solution has been filtered, only the recrystallized pure benzoic acid will be remaining.
The final product will be filtered crystals that will have been dried out in an oven to ensure that there is no longer any moisture within them or softness to their texture. When the crystals have been dried out in the oven for approximately 10 minutes, they will be solid and hard in texture and will also be in a purified state.
To test if the filtration and recrystallization techniques were successful, the melting point of the sample of now pure benzoic acid is determined.
So that concludes our presentation on recrystallisation. I hope this is a skill that you've enjoyed and you'll be able to use throughout the rest of your life.
Speaking for myself and the rest of the team, we've thoroughly enjoyed putting this together and presenting it to you. So just remember, be safe, be safe, be safe. Thank you.